What it do, what it do? We back with another one just like that. And we gonna get straight into it. So we got, you already seen the title. Bed Bath & Beyond CFO jumps off of his apartment building in New York, allegedly in a apparent suicide. So we gonna get straight into it. Let me pull up that news article.
The financial officer for Bed Bath & Beyond died on Friday after falling to his death from a New York City skyscraper, according to police. Gustavo Arnal joined the company in 2020. His death comes just days after a lawsuit alleges his involvement in a so-called, quote, pump and dump scheme. Police found the 52-year-old dead near a building known as the Jenga Tower after they received a 911 call Friday afternoon. Arnal's injuries appear to be from a fall. No additional information has been released. The city's medical examiner's office is investigating. Bed Bath & Beyond confirmed Arnal's death on Sunday, offering condolences and requesting privacy for his family. Arnal sold over 55,000 shares in the company last month, according to Reuters calculations based on SEC filings. The sales amounted to about $1.4 million. Arnal still had about 255,000 shares remaining. On August 23rd, the company, Arnal, and major shareholder Ryan Cohen were sued over allegations of artificially inflating the firm's stock price in a pump and dump scheme. The lawsuit alleges Arnal made misleading statements to investors and sold off his shares at a higher price after the scheme. The class action lawsuit was brought by a group of shareholders who claimed they lost around $1.2 billion. The company did not respond to requests for comment on the lawsuit. The big box chain has recently seen its fortunes falter. Last week, Bed Bath & Beyond said it would close 150 stores, cut jobs, and overhaul its merchandising strategy in an attempt to turn around its money-losing business.
All right, people. So y'all heard it. That was a pretty quick one. But essentially, this CFO sold a few of his shares the last week, leading up to this suicide, alleged suicide, I should say. And some other information that's interesting about this is that Bed Bath & Beyond for the last 2 years have been under scrutiny for their alleged pump and dump scandal, which I didn't look too much into that prior, but to my knowledge, essentially they're kind of doing what cats are doing with cryptocurrencies and some of these Ponzi schemes where it's inside trading going on, and they're manipulating the value of their stock by making, well-planned stock plays. I'll leave it at that. So that's kind of the gist of the scrutiny that Bed Bath & Beyond has been under. And last month, I believe they were saying in the news report that him and one of his partners, the CFO, were facing new allegations in regards to this pump and dump scandal. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this one is you got to know what you built for, in this life. You feel me? If you out here doing this blue collar fraud, you got to know what comes with it. And what comes with it typically, it ain't even a whole lot in the grand scheme of things if you're looking at all the money you get it. You might got to pay some fines. You might got to file for bankruptcy. I mean, this company's so big that, they might not have had to file bankruptcy. I don't know how big their scandal is. But, these guys escape these crimes all the time. You go do some Fed time, you're in like it's different from back in the day. But, hey, it's better than being in general pop in a pen. So, and you knew the crimes that you was doing. So that's what I'm trying to say. Was this really a suicide, or do you guys feel like this individual was facing some external pressures from the organization? Some people might feel like that's more like Illuminati, like why did it have to be something nefarious and devil's advocate? But it is always something to think of, because what would cause this man to just jump off his apartment building like that, even if he was facing pressures from this ongoing scandal? Did he have some mental health? And that's why I always sometimes just bring it back to mental health, because you never know the condition mentally of the individual you're talking to. People nowadays are getting better at at holding it all together in front of you, because no one wants to look weak nowadays, especially with the internet, So people will tell you that they're fine, tell you that they're good, even though that they're really not. And they could be in a real, what looks like affluent position. This guy was a CFO of a, $1 million company, It's like, I'm sure he had some money to pay off the fees, but that's why I say you got to know who you are. Maybe he really just couldn't deal. They're saying that allegedly he couldn't just deal, psychologically with the fact that, a lot of people felt like he lost them a lot of money, and, he just couldn't take, the guilt that came with that. And that's why I'm bringing it back to, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime, It's you got to know what you're getting into. Sometimes, since he's the CFO, he could have been pressured by other partners to go through with this stuff, since ultimately it's his call as the chief financial officer to clear these decisions. So he could have been put in between a rock and a hard place. You never know. Kind of similar to, well, possibly similar to that last video I did with the woman in Midtown Georgia who was making those allegations against her employer. And that's why I say you never know what you get into when you work for these big companies. You get the paycheck, you get the pension, you get the benefits, but you never know about all the other stressors and complications that you got to deal with that they don't put in the job description. They just expect you to just get down and lay down type of deal. So what do y'all think happened to this gentleman, man? It's pretty sad that, he lost his life in such a, horrific way. Apparently his wife saw him jump, so she has to live with that trauma too. And that's why, if with the wife seeing it, could be mental health. Doesn't necessarily seem like foul play involved, but interesting nonetheless that someone who was, just a couple days ago was in a way better position than you and I, probably, a couple mil in the bank account, but he couldn't deal with he couldn't deal with the effects of his actions, if, he was involved in those scandals. So sad to hear it, but what do you guys think? Let's talk about it in the comment section amongst ourselves. What do you guys think? Do you think it was, foul play? Do you guys think, that's not really looking too likely at this point with the wife saying that she witnessed this. But yeah, I'm just curious on what you guys think and, what's going on, or what was going on in this individual's head. So get at me in the comments, like, share, subscribe, do all of that. And make sure y'all getting that paper up, Once again, we moving into a possible recession if we're not in one right now. So best thing you can do for yourself right now is keep on stacking. That's what I'm doing. That's what you should